All right, all right, all right. They got it done last night. Yes, sir. 7 in a row. They're 8-4. A 122-115 win over the Nets. Anthony Jaquez got his revenge.
Jaquez for
Yes.
his last loss?
Yeah,
Or
he
what?
said they owed him something from the
Oh, that was Haywood actually.
Hayward. Yeah, Highsmith
Haywood said,
got
yes,
the
yes.
revenge. So
Yeah.
that was nice. That was good that they were talking about giving. I like when the young guys are, the way the season started, it was kind of ugly. And we were like wondering, okay, are these guys going to do the same shit in the first half of the season, not take it serious, and then start turning it up? And now, I tweeted this out yesterday. This looks like a team that actually wants to take the regular season a little bit more serious because maybe they don't want to go from the play-in game. Maybe they want to have a higher seed. What do you think? But I like what I'm seeing at least.
Yeah, obviously so far so good. I mean, Erik Spoelstra from the first day of training camp, I remember him saying, "We want to, after what happened last season, we want to be more intentional this regular season
Of course.
of not only taking it more seriously, but starting fast and not digging ourselves into a hole." Last season was just all about that bad start and then constantly just trying to get over. I don't think they got over 500 until December, and maybe 2 games over 500 until like January. Here we are, November 17th, and they're 8-4. So a lot different. This looks a lot more. I mean, it's early still, but this looks a lot more like 2 seasons ago when the team was fighting. I think they ended up with the number 1 seed, but they were one of the top seeds all year. It seems like if they continue playing this way, if they stay healthy, they're going to be one of those teams competing for one of those top 3, top 4 spots in the East.
Duncan Robinson reverse layups also now in the game.
The up and under. I had to. I was right. I was typing. I was like to Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press. And he did that. We just both stopped and looked at each other like, what just happened? I mean, every game it seems like he's pulling something out new that we never thought he could do. I mean, he hung in the air.
Air Duncan. That was
Went
Air
under
Duncan.
the rim and completed the reverse layup like it was Dwayne Wade or something. It's just so many of these guys
Air
are so much better.
Air Robinson.
Air Robinson sounds better. Yeah,
Air Robinson.
Air Robinson. I like that.
26 points yesterday, 6 of 10 shooting from 3-point range. It is absolutely phenomenal to watch.
Duncan Robinson, best bargain contract in the NBA. What do you think?
I told you, man, it's turning into a bargain.
It's amazing how fast things change.
You could trade that now. You can trade it now. Now people will line up to trade for that contract now.
Yeah, especially as it winds down. And today's NBA, $18-17 million is not. It's not that crazy.
He's one of the 5 or 7 best 3-point shooters in the NBA. Period. End of story.
Yeah. And now he does other things. And even on defense, he's never going to be a great defender.
No,
but he's holding his own. He's not. I don't notice him as much as a liability of guys just trying to get him in isolations and taking advantage of him.
Trying, bro. Part of half of defense is effort, is what it is, and the effort is there. In fact, he's probably a little bit better than Tyler is on defense now at this point. But everything else about his game, he rebounds, he sets up, he puts the ball on the court. He plays without the ball, and he cuts and does a great job, and just really, really proud of the kid. And Butler yesterday was fantastic. But when he is engaged like that, that's the other thing. And then bam, another 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So your big 3. So let me ask you, are you better off with this big 3, or are you better off with the other big 3 with Tyler there?
I know that's a conversation happening right now on social media of, after the Heat went to the finals without Tyler Herro, and now they've won 7 straight. Not without Tyler Herro, because the first 2
and the Eastern Conference the year before he got injured.
Right? Eastern Conference Finals, yes. The first 2 games of this winning streak were with Tyler. He played a bigger part in those 2 wins, so that's important to note. But I refuse to believe that this team is better without Tyler Herro. This is not a good offensive team. We've seen that now for a year and a half, 1+ seasons. They've been one of the bottom 10 offenses, bottom 5 offenses most of that time. You can't tell me that they're better without Tyler Herro, who's arguably their best pure scorer on the roster. Now is there a conversation to be had that maybe you put him in different lineups, or it's better if him playing off the bench?
Yeah,
that's another conversation. but I
That's
refuse.
where I would put him. I would put him in a 6 man.
Yeah,
So he comes off the bench and you have instant offense, plus he can close.
right,
So it's not so much that you're not a starter. You're still gonna have
right,
starters minutes. But I think a guy like that off the bench, plus his ball handling, which is the other thing that we can't, let pass
for
because
sure.
this team needs ball handlers. And, Duncan does a nice job handling the ball, but he's not a ball handler. This kid can
He's
handle the ball
yeah,
and send
he's a
people.
lead guard. Tyler Herro is a lead guard.
Yeah,
He can be.
yeah.
And Erik Spoelstra, I think while Tyler Herro was starting, when he was playing, the rotation was set up where Tyler was the first one to get sub out of the game at like 6 minutes, and then he would re-enter with like 3 minutes left and basically run the second unit. So yes, he was starting the game, but you could tell Erik Spoelstra was trying to get him almost also in that 6 man role too, where he was playing with a lot of the bench guys and leading those lineups. So there's ways you could kind of work it where he starts, which is what he wants, and honestly, that's what he deserves. He's one of the top 3 players in this team. He should be starting, but he also can lead those bench units as well. So I think Erik Spoelstra will continue to do that when Tyler Herro returns, and I just still very strongly believe this team is better with Tyler Herro.
I
They
have no
need the
problem. I have
scoring.
no
Yeah,
problem with that. I just think that I would bring him off the bench. And by the way, this whole thing about that it's beyond him or that that he's earned this that
right.
bro, Manu Ginobili is a better player
Sure.
than him. In fact, Tyler will never be better than Manu Ginobili was because Manu Ginobili is a Hall of Famer. I don't know if
Right.
Tyler will ever be a Hall of Famer. And Manu Ginobili didn't say a peep and came off the bench and was phenomenal for San Antonio. So there's nothing. I just wish we wouldn't look at it like it's the 6 man is not a person that is just a
Oh
jag on
no,
your team.
he'll play 30 plus minutes either way. Yeah,
The
yeah,
6 man is incredibly important
for
to
sure.
every team in the NBA, dude. The better 6
Yeah,
man you have, the better chance you have to win a championship. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Look, Dwayne Wade and Goran Dragic late in their careers took on 6 man roles, right? With
Yes.
the Heat, but I don't disagree with you. I think starting is overrated. I think closing a game is more important. I think minutes are more important. Look at Kyle Lowry. He's starting games and now playing 20 minutes a game. He starts and then he doesn't come back in. Starts each half and doesn't come back in. So minutes and closing games are more important. But you know this, Big O, with any sport, football, basketball, baseball, it's also about managing personalities.
Yeah,
And
I know.
Tyler Hero has been very adamant about wanting to start and felt very strongly that he deserves to start. So, yes, you could move him to the bench, but how does that affect things? So in a vacuum, I agree with you.
Oh, grow up, please.
But, but, but is there a way you can get both, which I think Erik Spoelstra is trying to do, where he starts, but he's also leading a lot of those bench lineups
Yeah, I would, I mean, right now, I like what I'm seeing with
with
that
Duncan in
lineup
there?
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and last night you had Highsmith in there, which that will be Caleb eventually, and it's just there's more defense. That's the other thing I like about this team. There's more defense on
hmm
this team than there has been the last couple of years. I think that is huge. I was so was Spo from what I saw, but I was very encouraged with Caleb Martin because
yeah,
I found it to be superbly efficient. And that's one of the things I love about certain players in basketball. Efficiency, I think, takes you to another level as a player. Yesterday it was 12 minutes. He only took 2 shots, made 2 of them, took 3 3-pointers, made 2 of them, also had 2 assists along with the 6 points. I just thought it was a solid start for Caleb Martin last night.
yeah, and he didn't, like you said, he didn't overdo it. He didn't try to overdo it in his time back. 12
No.
minutes, took 3 shots, made 2 threes, had a couple assists. This kind of fit right in, which is what Erik Spoelstra said. Um, he does, and Erik Spoelstra said this before the game and after the game. The way that he is playing with these versatile lineups, two-way players, guys who can defend, guys who can run up get up the court fast, who could shoot threes and make threes. Caleb Martin fits all that. Like he's that type of player. So it's like I think Spo's quote was, he fits what we're doing right now, but it's on steroids. Like Caleb Martin arguably is the best player on this team at that role player who can do all those different things.
Right.
We saw that last season's playoff run. So this team is, we've said it, Big O, we said it before the year. This team is very deep. You look
Yeah.
at that bench, Jaime Jaquez, with the way he's playing. Now you're throwing Caleb Martin. Kevin Love giving you really good bench minutes.
I told you they would replace the guys. The only thing
Yeah,
I was concerned about was ball handling a little bit. That's it. But I wasn't worried about missing Strus and Gabe's points. I knew they had enough because you knew that Highsmith was ready to take another step. I
yeah,
love Jaquez. I mean, I've loved Jaquez from the get-go. I thought that was a hell of a pick. I just think that this was a team, and then you're gonna get Caleb back now. I just think it's deeper. This could be a better team than they were last year. I
yeah,
really believe that. And if Drew Smith really comes through as a ball handler, that's going to be huge for Miami. Because if not, then you're probably going to be reporting on them making some kind of a move for some kind of a ball handler by the deadline.
yeah. But look, even with Caleb Martin back last night, even with Tyler Herro out, Drew Smith didn't play. Drew
I
Smith's
know.
not going to be in the rotation because there's just not enough room for him. I mean,
But at
there's
least
Josh
when you
Richardson.
do need him
When
down
you
the
need
line,
him, yes, he's there. He's a
Lowry's
good
going
depth
to
piece.
miss.
Yeah,
You're going to need him.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. If he can continue to fill that role, that's a really positive thing because if not, they're going to probably trade for another ball handler if Drew Smith
finally, yeah.
doesn't come through.
And these last two games, like we just said, Kyle Lowry's barely played. I mean, he's played like 15, 20 minutes, but
Right.
they're closing games without a point guard on the court. And what did they have? 9 turnovers yesterday? Like, they're one of the best teams at limiting turnovers without really many point guards or quote unquote ball handlers on the roster. That's the credit to guys like Jimmy, guys like Bam, guys like Josh Richardson, guys like Duncan Robinson, Jaime Hawkins, who could all play that role. I mean, that's one of the strengths of this team. Anybody can bring it up the court and run the offense,
Yeah.
which makes which challenges defenses. You never know where it's going to go.
And
So,
you don't mention the coaching, please, because there's a
and
reason
yeah,
why
he's
you're so
yeah,
efficient. There's a reason why you
yeah,
win. There's a reason
he's
why you're
okay.
smart. There's a reason why everybody is better every time they
Yeah,
step onto the court and they play under that dude.
yeah.
You know
Erik
what I
Spoelstra is a
mean?
pretty good coach. He's all right.
He is so freaking good, dude. It's
I mean, is he? Where does he
he's
stand
so
for
good.
you?
He's so good. He masks the mistakes that they've made for the last 10
Right.
years.
He's
That's
just
how
really
good he
good.
is.
He's really good at putting players in a position to succeed.
Oh my
He
god.
doesn't ask players to do some stuff they can't.
Right.
He kind of plays them to their strengths, and that's why you see players play their best basketball of their careers in Miami, and then they go other places and
Not as
they
good.
don't have that. They don't have that role that defined role that they had with the Heat. And some
Unless
players get frustrated.
you're Spruce, right? Spruce
Unless you're
is
Strus, right? Yeah, there you go. Unless you're Strus, there's always an outlier.
yeah.
Um, but and some players get frustrated with that because they want to do more, they want to shoot more threes. But Erik Spoelstra is very good about just play this role, give us 100% when you're on the court, and that's what he gets the most out of his players. So, yeah, credit to him. He's obviously an amazing coach. I was gonna ask you, because where does I mean, he's already up there, probably Mount Rushmore of coaches in South Florida. But where does he rank even in the Mount Rushmore? Where would you put him?
Well, I already told you he's better than Riley.
Right.
I already told you that. He's better than Riley.
So is he right behind Shula then? You
He's
think
not
he's second?
he's not better than Riley's career because once you add the Knicks and the Lakers, there's
Yeah.
no way that Spo will ever touch that. But as a Heat career, I'm more impressed with Spo than Riley. Because I have seen Spo with so many different teams, whereas Riley ran the same kind of team all the time. It
Right.
was his system, and he just
Defense first, and yeah.
yeah, no, and it was the same center-driven offense, inside out. It was the same type of team every single time. It just changed the pieces. That's all it was. Whereas Spo, my God, dude, he has played with so many different lineups, so many different ways, and on
Yeah.
top of that, he's a trendsetter. He also started something, that positionless stuff. That when you have that kind of foresight too, on top of all of that. But when we talk about in South Florida, it's Shula, Riley, Spo, Ron Frazier, Larinaga. So
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta leave Frazier ahead of Larinaga.
As of now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's got the
Yeah, he's
titles.
up the titles. Yeah.
And again, foresight. He's the guy that helped baseball get on the map.
Right.
Like he brought
How about
business.
Howard?
Oh, Schnellenberger, yeah, there's a title there.
Just the significance there of him like
Yeah,
putting,
no,
helping get you on the map. Yeah.
yeah, no, and also FAU.
Yeah. Yeah, and
He
also
also
FAU, that's a good
he
point.
also
Yeah.
had success with FAU, you know what I'm saying? And and Louisville, the team that they're playing this weekend, they
Yeah.
have a stadium because of Howard Schnellenberger.
Wasn't he on the 72 Dolphins coaching staff?
Yes, he was. He was
Yeah,
Shula's guy.
right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of Shula's assistants. But yeah, you could put Schnellenberger there too, man. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, wow, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
But I
tough to
mean,
like put
Spo's up there for sure.
for
There's no
sure.
doubt. Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you leave Larinaga off too? I'm just as impressed with Larinaga.
Where does Mike McDaniel go if they win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, no, yeah, he's got a lot of winning to do before we even put him in that conversation.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? But it's hard to come up with just 4 because you're going to be arguing about one guy there that because like Shula, Riley, and Spo are there already.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. They're locked in. And then you're going to say, is it Schnellenberger? Is it Frazier? Is it Larinaga?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can make an argument for all of them.
Right.
So it's hard for just a Mount
A
Rushmore
clean
per
four.
se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have to go deeper than 4
Yeah.
nowadays.
That's
So
that's a good thing for South Florida. That means there's
yeah,
been a lot of good coaches in this.
yeah,
This league.
we've been blessed. We've been blessed. We've had some pretty damn good coaches, and obviously to watch Spo come from,
Yeah, where he
humble
came from.
beginnings, that's super impressive. All right, what do you got going on in the Herald so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, today I posted a story on Caleb Martin's return, which we just spoke about. Obviously, everyone's really encouraged. I think the best news they came out from the game, aside from the win and Duncan and Jimmy, was that Caleb Martin after the game said, "I felt more like myself," because in the season opener when he went out there and played, he did not feel like himself, and that's
Didn't
why
like
he
it.
sat out these last 10 games. So he feels healthy. That's a good thing. He's going to be a big part of obviously the bench rotation. He's going to play 25, 30 minutes a game somehow, some way on this deep roster, because he's one of the best two-way players on the team. So that's all good news for the Heat. And then tomorrow I have coverage from Chicago. I'm flying in a few hours to Chicago to begin this another long trip. Should be fun.
Zach LaVine, you believe in any of that?
I just don't see the fit. I don't see it. I
It
mean,
doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
He's not as efficient as Tyler, as a
Hero to me is a
shooter,
better
and
version of
by
him.
the
And
way, he might be even more injury prone than
I
Tyler.
was going to say his knees aren't great. He's had some knee issues recently. His contract is more expensive. I don't know if he's better than Tyler Herro. I would say no, but it's close. And even if, like you say, you keep Tyler and you find a way to get Zach LaVine with Tyler, how does that fit with a lineup of Tyler Herro, Zach LaVine? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
It
Alex
doesn't.
Caruso makes more sense, but I just don't know
Yes.
how the Heat would get him because
Right.
I'm guessing Chicago will want a first round pick to get rid of Caruso, and I don't think the Heat will do that. So,
Right.
we'll
But
see.
that one, but you're right. When you talk about fits,
Yeah.
that one makes
Yeah,
more
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
There
for
there
sure.
is no to me, there is no logic bringing Zach LaVine here.
I agree.
Unless the coaching staff is convinced that they're like, "No, no, we can make him efficient." No, 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 no. In our system,
Right.
we'll coach him up. We'll make unless they're like that, and which, they can actually think like that because that's what they do with everybody. Everybody's better when
Mhm.
you go there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
They've
just
earned that benefit of the doubt. So if they do it, then I guess we'll see. But
yeah,
from the outside looking in, I don't see the fit. I don't see the
yeah.
fit.
It's like watching Whiteside. After you watch Whiteside long enough, you're like, this guy's not a Heat
Right.
player. It's
Right.
like, the James Harden stuff. Yeah, it's not a Heat player.
Yeah.
Come on. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense,
Yeah. No,
sometimes.
he and Zach LaVine's talented. He's good, he's
Yes, very
athletic, he can shoot the ball,
yeah.
he can score. But again, they have Tyler Herro already. And then you have Jimmy and Bam. And
They
now you
have
have
a
Duncan Robinson averaging 20 something points a game. So I don't know. I just
offensively,
don't
they
see
have
it.
a much more efficient player in Tyler Hero
Yeah.
than Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
That's the part that people don't. I bring up efficiency a lot with you.
Mhm.
Are we at the point where is that something that I know basketball people like you think about that?
Yeah.
Does the public think about that enough?
I think so. I think more and more each year, right? Because you'd rather have a guy who averages 23 points a game on 48% shooting compared to a guy who averages 28 points a game on for the Wizards and is that shooting 41%, right? to me, if I don't want to sound like I'm a basketball snob, but if you know basketball, like that's pretty obvious,
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
look at Jimmy. Jimmy's a perfect example. He doesn't average the most points a game,
right.
but man, I think last year shot 52% from the field,
Yes,
and that's why he received some MVP votes. And you look at all the advanced metrics, and he's like right behind Jokic, which is impressive
right.
because he's so efficient. So efficiency is very important, very
Yeah,
important.
dude. Yeah, I just wish people would get more on top of. I know writers do. I know you guys do, but like fans, I don't think they appreciate. Like I have guys that have reached out. Oh no, we got to have Zach Levine. He's electric.
Yeah.
And like, do you know he's not efficient. Go look at his shooting percentages.
Hmm.
Go look at his injury history. There are things that you're just looking at the high flying dunk, and maybe you're
Right.
still thinking of the dunk contest from a couple years back, which by the way he was nasty. Kid
Yeah.
was
Oh,
awesome.
it's
He put on a
super athletic.
show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
It,
really looking at the basketball player. And I get you may not trust Tyler completely, but Tyler's actually way more efficient than this guy.
I don't want to name names, but it's like that quarterback who has a really big arm, but maybe throws a lot of picks and fumbles the ball a lot.
Josh
And
Allen.
I didn't say it, but it's kind of the same thing. Like it's nice, right? They're talented.
Nice.
They have the physical gifts. They can put
Right,
up big numbers, but you
right.
have to take care of the ball.
Got it. I'm with you. All right, my brother. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang. What do you got going on in the Miami Herald, my friend?
Yeah, the Caleb Martin story that we just spoke about, and then this coverage from the road trip coming up over the next week, another 5-game trip, and then finally the Heat will return home for some extended stretch, for pretty much the first time all season.
All right, but hey, man, we were afraid, or a little not afraid. We were concerned about this road trip, and they have
Yeah,
handled it
for
in a
sure.
absolutely perfect fashion. So let's hope that they can finish it off. We'll catch up next week, man. Have a great weekend and safe in your travels.
Thank you, Bigo. Have a good weekend.
You got it. There you go, Anthony Chang. And of course, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back into the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care.